Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about some books that I DNF'd and why. I'm going to be going into like kind of a detail. I think I'm going to be talking about them like all in different lengths. So like one I might rant about for like 10 minutes and one I might just keep it really short, keep it like 30 seconds. Because like a couple of these I just didn't finish reading. They were just kind of one of those books where I kind of just put it down, never set it back up again. Also, if you guys hear my phone going off, because I am recording from my phone right now, because the lighting is way better when I use my phone camera than it is on my laptop camera, and I don't have like a big fancy like camera like other YouTubers have. But anyway, yeah, if you guys hear my phone go off, it's because I kind of like a guy. I'm kidding, no, I don't. My best friend just texts me a lot. Also, this is crooked. Well, now it's crooked the other way. Hold on. That's better. Okay. So we're just gonna start. Yeah, we do have this big fat stack of books. And y'all are gonna come at me for some of these. Okay. So to start off with, I actually did take the cover off because it was a hardcover and the little slippies on the hardcovers annoyed me, so I just took it off and then it got destroyed. So this is The Song of Achilles. I don't know why I had to look at the cover. Like, I knew what it was already. But this is The Song of Achilles. It had some, like, weird smut in it. And what I mean by that is, like, if y'all have seen my other videos, you guys know that I don't mind a lot of smut. Or no, I do mind a lot of smut. I don't mind, like, a little bit of smut. Like, obviously, I read the whole Shadow Me series, and it got really bad in the last book, but I, like, forced myself to finish it because it was, like, 200 pages. But this one, it was, like, the smut was super, super weird. Because it's obviously, it takes place in, like, ancient Greece, so they talk different and they have a different way of wording things, and just the way that they put some of those things are so weird. I'm sorry. I might find you guys an example later on in the video, but not right now. Because right now, we're gonna move on to Percy Jackson. So I honestly, I saw a lot of those edits of people of like Nico, Will, Jason, Raina, Piper, and like all those edits and all those skits that they did, all those POVs, and I was like so excited, but then I realized like they don't all come in really until like the Heroes of Olympus series, and so that was kind of like a letdown for me. I think that if I would have not seen those edits and just read the books first, it wouldn't have been a big letdown for me, and I think I just got really bored with it and just kind of put it down and never picked it back up again. And then next we have A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I'll probably go back and reread this one and Percy Jackson, just because this one I got like a few, I probably only got like that far in, but I started reading it because at the time I was in the middle of reading Catching Fire. And I had already read The Hunger Games, obviously. But, like, I was in the middle of reading Catching Fire, and my friend was like, hey, I'm going to see the new Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes movie for my birthday. Like, do you want to come? And I was like, yeah. So I told my mom, and she was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then I was going to just download it because I have, like, a bunch of different websites where you can go and just read books for free. And I was just going to go on one of those websites, but my mom actually bought me the book. And she was like, here you go, this way you can read it. But unfortunately, it was like the night before, or like 2 nights before the party. And I do have softball and church and a lot of other stuff going on. Life just, it was kind of busy. Life was kind of busy at that time. Next, we have Cinder by Marissa Meyer. So this is another book that I think I'll probably go back and read. Just because I was just starting to get back into reading. I honestly think that I shouldn't have read this book because, like, the reason I say that is because, hold on. This is 389 pages, which is, like, nothing. Like, I can read that in, like, 2 days. But I started reading really in, like, 2022 again, and I hadn't read for, like, 2 years-ish, because I went in this, like, huge reading slump for, like, 2 or 3 years, and I used to like to read Harry Potter, which is another one that I DNF'd just because I was so young, and I had the attention span of a goldfish, and I still do, but now I have the attention span of a slightly more mature goldfish. Yeah, so this is just, yeah, it was a really good book, and I really enjoyed it. I think I only got to, like, part 2, though, and then I stopped reading, and I remember reading it and going out to dinner with my aunt and really enjoying it. Honestly, I was just kind of trying to avoid socializing because I didn't feel like being around people that night. And my aunt, she can be kind of intense sometimes, and yeah, anyway, but I just kind of set it down one day and never picked it back up again. And I will probably come back to it at some point because it was a very good book for the most part. I don't think I have any complaints. I'm gonna try to stop saying but no promises. Okay, so I really liked how, I want to say so bad. I really liked how one of the stepsisters was trying to be, like, nice to Cinder, and it kind of did bother me that she was so, like, stay away from me, like, she was so distant from her stepsister, because her stepsister was really trying to be, my bad. Her stepsister was really trying to be her friend, and I think that's kind of sad. And then I knocked the next book over. Hold on. Okay. So, this is another book that I started reading when I was just starting to get back into reading. And I started it actually on a trip last year. And I only got, like, a few chapters in because it was a youth trip. And it was a fairly short, yeah, it was a pretty short flight. And there was this girl that I hadn't really talked to at church, but we were sitting next to each other on the plane, and we actually started talking to each other, and now we're really good friends. And we basically just talked the whole time, and then, like, we talked the whole way back, and then when we were actually there, it was like a youth retreat kind of thing, so we didn't really have time to be, like, reading or just sitting around, because we were always, like, up and about, and we were, like, making new friends. And it was actually a basketball tournament, but I swore off basketball when I was, like, 8 years old, but that's a story for another time. I swore off basketball when I was, like, 8 years old because I wanted to start playing it. So I had my older cousin who had been playing basketball at the time to coach me, and I realized, like, this is not for me. But then I realized that I wasn't doing it because I actually liked basketball. I realized I knew nothing about basketball. I realized I was just doing it because people kept peer pressuring me into trying to do it because they were like, oh, you're so tall, you should totally do it. It's a total tall people sport. Anyway, that's a story for another day. I'll stop saying that now. So, I will probably come back to this, too. I just kind of like faster paced books. I wanted to be fast-paced from the beginning, and I almost DNF'd Inheritance Games because of all these books that I've DNF'd just because they weren't, like, fast-paced at the very beginning. Now, because of that, I have what I call the 10-chapter rule, or the 100-page rule, whichever comes first. And it's that I cannot DNF a book until I've read the first 10 chapters or the first 100 pages. And it's 10 chapters if it's, like, normal chapters, but if it's super, super short chapters, then I have to wait until I have to wait until 100 pages. But if it's also super, super long chapters, and there's only like 12 chapters total or something. Well, like Shatter Me, I think it only had like 20 something chapters in the first book. I almost said it, but I didn't. I didn't. Are you proud of me? Are you proud of You're proud of me. I was so proud of myself too. So Shadow Me, I think, only had like 26 chapters in the first book. So now I have what's called the 10 chapter rule, where I either have to read one day I'll stop saying that. Not today though. Because that's usually when the book starts getting good, is like after 10 chapters. But I really do like when it's like fast paced, like right out the gate. Like I like when it's fast paced. And I was like, okay, when's this gonna get good? Like when I started reading the Inheritance games like a week ago or two something. And now I'm reading the Hawthorne Legacy and Allegiant because I have this app called Libby. Yes, like Avery's sister, Libby. It's this app called Libby, and basically it connects to your library card. Not sponsored, by the way. It connects to your library card, and then you can borrow books virtually and read them virtually. And it's really, really cool because it works just like a regular library. Like, you can't check out a book if someone else already has it borrowed, or an audiobook, or an ebook, or whatever. But you can't place things on hold, and you can't, like, and then, I don't know, don't quote me on this, but I think you should be able to go to your library and pick up that book if you checked it out on Libby. You should be able to, like, show them your library card, be like, oh yeah, I checked this out. Can I, like, have it or something? Depending on where you live, because I know that some librarians are, like, jerks. Umbrella. It's big brain time. Okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Hawthorne Legacy. So I am reading the Hawthorne Legacy right now, and I really was like, come on, let's go. After like 2 chapters and nothing happened, but then like she got called to Texas in like the 4th chapter, like spoiler if you haven't read it, but like in like the 4th chapter or something, and I was like, oh, that was like really quick, and I was really shocked because most people don't do it that fast pace, and then it was really like fast pace, and then like kind of slow, and then fast pace, and I really did like that. I really did kind of like that, because I liked how she was able to like balance it between the fast and the slow pace, and then obviously we have like the slow burn love triangle, and I think that's so cool. I love fast-paced mystery books with slow burn romance, with like slow burn romance like undertones, kind of, is how you would word it. Anyway, I'm in the middle of Hawthorne Legacy, and I really like it. And I really liked how it was really fast-paced, just like right off the bat. Oh, but if you guys have any like fast-paced book recommendations that either have no smut or are just like sprinkled with smut, like, let me know, because I need new book recs, okay? My Goodreads goal this year, well, actually my Bookmary goal, because I don't really use Goodreads, I use this app called Bookmary, that my friend recommended to me, is 100 books. I'm trying to read 100 books by the end of 2024, and it is already almost April, which is terrifying as crap, but it's good. Okay, anyway, back to the video. I'm going to probably go on a rant about this one, because this one made me so utterly... Okay, I'm gonna save it. Okay. Moving on to the last, final... Okay. And last, and also least, we have the Kill Order. I know I'm not the only one that absolutely detests this book. it did the rest of the Maze Runner series such an injustice. And I know that you're supposed to chronologically read it, Kill Order, Maze Runner, Scorch Trials, or no, it's chronologically the Kill Order, then Fever Code, and then the trilogy. But if someone ever asked me, hey, do you have any book recommendations for me? And I recommended the book, the Maze Runner series to them, and they were like, oh, should I read it like chronologically, or should I read the trilogy first and then the Kill Order and the Fever Code? I would be like, nope, give me the Fever Code, and I would burn it. When I was setting up for this video, I was looking for the Fever Code, and it was kind of like pushed back further than my book, so I didn't see it, and I was like, maybe I did actually burn it in my sleep or something, because I have thought so seriously about burning this book. And if you've been a sub for a while, you would have seen my book where I throw this at the wall, at the ground, at the ceiling, because I hate it so much. I just feel like everything that came out of this, like when James Dashner was writing this, it was so forced. I can't tell if it was either like a huge brain dump, like he had all these ideas and he just like shoved them out onto one paper, or if he just like forced everything out because he was like, come on, I need to like write something for my fans, and he had like to like force the ideas out. It's one of those things where it's like such a big difference but such a fine line, you know, and it's really hard to tell. And it's just like nothing in this book made sense to me. Like, let me see if I can find it, but there was this scene where they had to like run away. They like picked, spoiler alert for the book, which you're not gonna read, because if you read this book, you will hate yourself just as much as I do, and I am genuinely about to start crying because I am traumatized from this book because of how bad it was. Okay, anyway, so do not read this book because it sucks. Do not read this book, okay? Take two. Hold on. Do not read this book because it sucks. The rest of my family is asleep. We have had a very long day, and that was probably not what I should have done in that instance. But it's all good. We're all good. Anyway, so it just like everything seems so forced, and when he was writing it, and when you're reading it, it sounds like me making these videos for y'all. It was so like raw and unedited, and it just, nothing made sense. Nothing was being put together. Nothing was like stringing together nice. Everything in the trilogy, I like to imagine storylines as a book, or as a obviously it's a book, as a river, okay? Because I am also an author. I have not published any of my works yet because I am way too anxious, but I like to imagine books as a river. When we have a good story, we have a good flowing, smooth, clean river, and then a waterfall. That waterfall is like the end of the story, and it really sucks, but it's really beautiful too. So in order to write a good story, you have to string together words that are smooth, and you have to make plot points that are smooth, and then a waterfall at the end, which is the ending, but it has to be like a good ending. It can't be like some random ending. And that's kind of one of my problems with books, is like sometimes they just like throw things at you that seem so random. With a bad story, you have a river that's filled with dams. That is filled with dams, rocks, other things. So you don't have like a smooth, clean, flowing river. The water is constantly stopping. It always has obstacles to get to the waterfall. And then that waterfall has jagged rocks at the bottom. And that's what the Kill Order was. It was like constantly like obstacles, and everything was so forced, and everything was so fast-paced. Like, when I say fast-paced, I mean I want things, like, flowing, moving along. I don't want anything to, like, stop and go by super, super slow and then, like, pick up speed again. With the Kill Order, it was so fast-paced from beginning to end that nothing made sense. It was, like, not even fast-paced. It was, like, lightning-paced because, like, they started on a campsite, and then, like, a chapter later, they were, like, on this grand adventure, which was, like, it was great. Everything was great. Everything was smooth and clean and great, and then, like, we got Dee Dee, and then we got, like, the fire, and then we got, like, the berg, and then after the berg, like, the landing pad part didn't make any sense at all. Like, I thought it was, like, a rotating plate, but then I kept reading, and, like, that didn't really make any sense. And I know that every story has that, but it seems like it's been a while since I've read it, because I was supposed to read it in, like, October, and I know this because I was watching my old videos. I think every content creator rewatches their old videos at some point, because why wouldn't you? Like, you have to make sure that you aren't, like, stupid or something. And sometimes my own videos come up on my For You page when I'm scrolling on shorts. Anyway, but I realized, like, I was reading it in October, and then, so it's been a while. It has been a while since I've read it, so I don't remember everything, but I do remember hating it so much, and every single paragraph, it made me want to smash my head into a wall every paragraph I got through. Like, I kept telling myself, just finish this chapter, just finish this chapter, finish this chapter. And everything was, like, so fast-paced, and then it was, like, super, super slow, and then it would just, like, spring something out on you. And when I want fast-paced, I want something that makes sense. I want a clean storyline. This wasn't clean. It was, like, all over the place. It wasn't even, like, up, down, up, down, up, down. It was, like, whoosh. Like, I couldn't bear myself to finish it. And I know that a lot of people feel the same way about that, but I truly think I feel the most strongly about it. That is the only book I will accept abuse against. Okay? And I know most people say that for, like, Colleen Hoover, but I haven't read any of Colleen Hoover's stuff yet. And based on what people say about her, I don't think I want to. Anyway, guys. Well, I am going to go listen to the Hawthorne Legacy on Libby. And I will talk to you guys soon. Love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, bye guys.